All right, Kim, now we're out on the main commercial ops center, and we've got Craig with us. Craig, why don't you share with everyone a little bit about what your role is?
Well, I'm a director of commercial ops, and I support all the project managers that are out running jobs and help them with whatever needs that they have. And we have a bunch of team members below me that handles the equipment and the supplies and things of that, but basically a big coordinator of everything going on across the country.
So out here, as you can see, we've got tons of equipment for mobilization for large-scale events, whether they're residential or commercial. Kind of, how does that process work out here?
Well, first of all, we got to make sure that we've got a way of communicating and a place to stage and office up. So we have our office trailers that we mobilize out, and Starlink as our communication devices to help us communicate. We'll mobilize our own generators in, so we got power for our jobs and for our trailers. And then we have a bunch of supplies up here and equipment that all is staged and ready to get put on trailers and sent out during the events. So that's real important too, because a lot of times you get into theater, you don't have anything. So you've got to bring what you need.
Yeah.
So this up here gets us stabilized for a week or so with the equipment and the supplies that we need.
What else is critical as you're going out on a major
Well,
event?
as you can see here, these are some big drying units. They're desiccants, and that's real important when you get into some of these jobs that roofs are blown off or they've been flooded on the big commercial projects, to be able to stabilize the environment and perhaps dry them out.
So, and a couple of other things, Ross, that go through, going back to that, being able to be self-sustained. You'll see over here we have portable gas. We talked about the fuel depots and the fuel cells to be able to self-sustain what we need to be able to do out of that. You also can't depend on water or having water available to do it. You'll see that we have back over there our own water tanks that we use for pressure washing and things like that you may need, because in some of those environments it may be weeks before you actually have access to water that you go through. And then whether it's portable air conditioning, portable drying, all the electrical that you need for hooking up equipment like Craig's referred to on these large dryers, we have all of that stuff set up here.
Mike, we're here in Olathe at your ops center, but what might veterans expect if they work in one of your other locations?
What you'll see in here is we try to mimic everything that we have here across the country. So franchises come here to get the model of how they want to set up their shop. What you see here is what we've done is we've got our mini Home Depot here, is items that are the most used that we would do a big box store type of run is all located right here. Usually when franchises ask us, it's usually after hours, and what happens is we'll normally send people out there. What they'll normally ask us is, hey, we need this to start the job. Is this something that you could provide? And in essence, the answer is always yes. We have it here. As you can see, this is kind of the start of any demolition work that we need to do at these facilities. If you don't have these shelf items, it's pretty hard to start at your client's facility. What we see here is we've got desk and dehumidification, but now that we're going into our winter seasons now, this product that you see here in the red is our heaters. So this is temporary heat. If a client loses their heating system because of an event, we can bring these in. But what we're seeing with this polar vortex the last couple of years is that temperatures are going so below that permanent systems cannot keep up with the temperatures that are experiencing outside. So what we'll do is we'll bring these in. These are electric heaters at 150 kW, and they could be not only outside, but they can be placed inside because there's no combustible gases. But from a emergency standpoint, quick, fast heat, we not only use these for commercial spaces, but we'll use them for schools. We'll use them for churches so they can have services on Sunday morning. But anything that we can provide supplemental heat where people don't have to wear jackets and feel like they're cold. Try to keep an environment that makes them feel as comfortable as possible.
Mike, ServiceMaster has an equipment rental program. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. What we're in today is one of our 5 equipment trailers that we deploy all across the country. What you see in here is we've got 400 air movers, we've got 110 dehumidifiers, then we've got 13 air scrubbers. This is probably the prime equipment that we have within our franchise network. This is the only kind in this industry. We talk about technology. This is really encompasses what we have as far as technology. These are deployed within CAT regional events. These can be used by franchises, and the beauty of it, this is all automated, what you see here. So we have a locking system. This is powered by solar batteries. So everything that you see in here right now is being lit up by solar. It's self-contained. We don't have to be in here to physically give them, if they want 10 air movers, to actually physically give them 10. What we do have on the outside of the trailer is a pin lock. So when a franchise contacts my team, we go ahead and let them know that it's available. We issue them a PIN number, which is fully automated. They can drive up to the trailer at any time of the night, access it with their PIN number. All this equipment is RFID tagged. So once it crosses the barrier and leaves this trailer, it sends us a signal saying, this is what piece of equipment, this is a serial number that left on that equipment, and then they can go on their business. So this can be accessed at 2 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 9 o'clock at night, 7 days a week. So this actually allows our franchises to have a roving store where we don't physically have to be there. So it's one of its own in this industry. Everyone's asking us what we're doing here. Even our competition is wondering what we're doing here. We've even had vendors who've walked in here and said, we've never seen anything like this. So from a technology standpoint, we're very proud of this, what we've got set up.